guys, welcome everyone. My name is Cassie and today we're going to take a look at the pose Chaturanga. Now Chaturanga is a challenging pose for a lot of people. It builds a lot of strength, fantastic for our arm balances, but it also requires a degree of strength to be able to execute the pose. So today we're going to take a bit of a deeper look into the pose, but really the foundation of Chaturanga comes from plank pose. So if you haven't watched the last tutorial on plank pose, I suggest you go back and watch that so that you can really build a solid plank pose first to then be able to move into Chaturanga. Once you have a solid plank pose, there really are only a couple of cues to execute your Chaturanga. That being to inhale to pitch your shoulders forward past the plane of the wrist, and to exhale, firm the elbows in and bend the elbows into Chaturanga. So that's a couple of cues that are really easy for me to say, but it's quite challenging to be able to execute that pose. So let's have a look at a couple of things that can go wrong in Chaturanga first of all, and you might recognize these in your own body as I do them. Okay, so first of all, we're in plank pose, and then we inhale, pitch the shoulders forward, we exhale to bend the elbows, and a lot of times people drop the elbows, not the elbows, the shoulders down too far and pike the butt up. Now I know for me, when I was first learning Chaturanga, that's something that I did, and I didn't even really recognize that I was doing it until I recorded myself and watched the videos back. But to me, I was nice and low and I felt like I was getting my Chaturanga. Okay, so the other thing that can go wrong, and I find this one for many people, they inhale, pitch the shoulders forward, and they exhale, they start to drop their hips down before they bend the elbows, and then they sort of do like this like worm action. So think of that like you're at a party and you've got that worm happening. That tends to happen a lot too. So it would be a good idea for you to video yourself and have a look at your Chaturanga and just see what's going on so that then you can decide what you're going to do to move forward. So let's have a look now at what Chaturanga should look like. So we have our plank pose, and then I inhale, pitch the shoulders forward, I exhale, bend the elbows, everything else stays the same as I lower into Chaturanga. So nothing else changed. I just inhale forward, taking the shoulders past the plane of the wrist, and then I exhale, firm the elbows, bend the elbows to that 90-degree angle to get my Chaturanga, okay? So, if you're working on your plank and you have your knees down, you're not going to be able to get the right angle for the arms, okay, but you can still gain a lot of strength by practicing this way, okay? So you're here in your plank pose with the knees on the floor, and all you're going to do is inhale and exhale, bend the elbows to lower down. So you can see my arms are not in that 90-degree angle, but if I'm firming the elbows in, bending the arms, and keeping the rest of the body in that nice, strong plank position, then I'm still going to be gaining a lot of strength here. If you have a really strong plank and then something's just going wrong as you move into Chaturanga, then what I would suggest is coming into plank and then inhale, pitch the shoulders forward, and then place the knees on the floor, and then bend the elbows. Okay, and then from here, what happens is you're getting that right ankle position, you're taking the shoulders forward, you're allowing the wrist to get used to that movement as well. Okay, so you've got a couple of options there. And then let's look at a few ways that we can use some props to help us fix some of the things that might be going wrong in your Chaturanga. So if you are dropping the shoulders down and piking the butt up, we'll try using a strap first. So here's what I prepared earlier. You want to have a loop in the strap that is shoulder distance apart. So just measuring from armpit to armpit. And then we place that loop onto the arms up just above the elbows. And then I come into my plank position. Strong plank. Inhale, pitch the shoulders forward, come onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the elbows and come down so that I'm just touching that strap. My rib cage is touching that strap. Okay, so I'm not sinking completely into it and pulling it against the body. Okay, I'm just coming onto it and feeling that strap against my rib cage. This is gonna stop me from dipping the shoulders down too far. And then another really useful prop is your bricks. So you can take 2 bricks and place them at the top of the mat. So for these bricks, I would use them at this height. It just depends, there are a couple of different sizes for your bricks. Okay, but I'll have them at this height for this standard brick. And then I place my hands, my fingertips just in front of the blocks. Okay, then I come into my plank pose. Strong plank, broaden the collarbones. Inhale, shift the weight forward into the fingertips. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down. Chaturanga. So here, having my shoulders hover just above the bricks. Again, it teaches me whether I'm trying to drop the shoulders too far and push into the bricks. And then if you find, and we went through this in plank pose as well, if you find that you are losing that core connection and that connection to the legs as you lower down, then you want to take the block and place it in between the thighs. Okay, so in between the thighs, coming into your plank position, squeezing the block with the thighs, and then inhale, pitch the shoulders forward, exhale, lower down. So using this block will just help you to engage the legs, engage the pelvic floor and the lower belly. And just remember to keep that gap between the hips and the ribs really short. Okay, so you're shortening here, shortening the front body rather than flaring out the front body and tilting the tailbone up. Okay, so firming in versus flaring ribs. So there are a couple of props that you can use to help you fix anything that may be going wrong in Chaturanga. And we're also, just for a little bit of a challenge, we're going to look at Chaturanga from the floor up. So generally Chaturanga is moved into from a plank position. It's used in most flow classes. So we move from plank into Chaturanga and gravity helps us a little bit. When we do Chaturanga from the floor up, it's a whole other challenge. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. Give it a go. It is a little bit of fun. It's nice to be challenged too. Okay, so come down onto your belly. Forehead just resting onto the floor. Take the arms so that you are in that 90-degree angle, or roughly 90-degree angle. That 90-degree angle doesn't work for everybody, but you're looking at roughly a 90-degree angle. Okay, grip the fingertips to the mat and find that hand placement that we've spoken about in all the other videos. Firm the elbows in, broaden the collarbones, tuck the toes under, firm the legs, so lift the kneecaps off the floor, feel the kneecaps lift up towards the pelvic floor, inner thighs squeezing towards each other and up, engage the glutes, tuck the tailbone towards the heels, navel to spine, take an inhale, and exhale, you're going to push up into Chaturanga. And then come down and rest, because that one's super hard. Anyway, have a go guys, try the different props, have a go at working from the floor up as well, and let me know how you go with Chaturanga. Remember, if it's challenging, don't worry, just keep practicing. You can totally nail this one. See you guys.